Case study number 2. So I start off this case study by going through the Potter box and defining the situation. The details behind this case, there are 2 separate issues, one being the delaying of a movie and then re-editing the movie to address concerns about the portrayal of terrorism and non-Caucasians. So what we know is England Will Fall is a new movie that is about terrorist attacks in London, and the terrorist wants the British Prime Minister delivered to him so he can be tortured and killed. Weeks before the premiere, terrorist attacks that are similar to those seen in the movie's trailer are carried out in Barcelona and Berlin, killing hundreds. One of the film's co-stars states he regrets being a part of the project. So the question is, should the film be delayed due to the terrorist attacks that were carried out before the release date, and should scenes of terrorism and non-Caucasians be re-edited? So after defining the situation, I can look at my values. So because there are 2 ethical issues involved, it's time to see if my values are the same or different toward both issues. So my specific values that apply to this case would be compassion and respect. As someone who works for a production company, I value my viewers and supporters, my organization, and people of different ethnicities, backgrounds, religions, etc. So now I can look at my loyalties. So I am loyal to my organization as well as society, who are people who may or may not view this movie. Because I work for a production company, it is my job to create the movies. Therefore, it is a duty of my job that pays me to uphold this job requirement. But I also have a loyalty to society, which holds greater value. So now I can look at my principles. So the main principle I chose for this case would be agape. The agape principle stresses love and valuing each person regardless of their individual characteristics. So this principle helped me go through these issues because being considerate of those who were affected by the attacks is important, as well as considering those who are being represented in a negative light in this movie. It is also important not to lump people together based on an idea. Not every person from the Middle East is a terrorist. Being a bad person comes from the inside. It has nothing to do with the way you look. It is not right to assume just because someone has a certain characteristic that they act a certain way. So my final conclusion, should the movie be delayed? After going through the Potter box, I think the movie should be delayed because of the events that occurred week before the date. I value compassion, and I don't think releasing a movie after terrorist attacks is tasteful or thoughtful. I think it is a good idea to wait a while after the attack to release the movie to remain compassionate to those who are affected. I also think re-editing the movie is needed to not be racist. So this is a movie that is in our control, and why should we cause more hate toward a group of people who aren't all bad people?